All right, Mr. Claxton Algebra 2 students, what we're looking at here is a review of the graphing of linear inequalities, and then we're going to merge that with the graphing of absolute value inequalities. So we've got two definitions there to look at, a linear inequality and a boundary. So an example of a linear inequality is x minus 2y is less than 4. And what this means is we're going to try to graph the line that would be that line, x minus 2y equals 4, except for it's less than. And then we're going to shade either above or below that line. The first thing that we want to do is we want to solve the equation, or the inequality rather, solve it for y, remembering that we must flip it if we multiply or divide by a negative. So if I were solving this from y, I would subtract x from each side. Subtract x from each side. And I am unable to get that pen going. So I would subtract x and subtract x. That leaves me with negative 2y is less than, and I would call that negative x plus 4. The negative x comes from subtracting x from each side. And then the plus 4, the 4 was positive. Now, when I divide by negative 2, when a negative comes along, you must flip it. So you would divide by negative 2 on each side. I'm going to go ahead and convert this now. Negative 1 over negative 2 is the same as 1/2. Remember, I have to flip the inequality. So y is going to be greater than 1/2 x. And then 4 divided by negative 2 is minus 2. So essentially what's going to happen now is I'm going to plot the y-intercept down here at negative 2 and follow my slope. Up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. Down 1, left 2. Down 1, left 2. And then I'm going to make a dashed line. Now, why is this line dashed? Because it's a less than sign. It's not equal to, it's just less than. Now, this right here will tell me where to shade. Y is greater than means that I want all y values above the line. So some people like to draw an arrow. So that arrow would be straight up, right? And you can shade that by making just little lines on there. Some people that are really artsy, I'm sure will shade it better than I did. So looking at just the process here, we're solving for y, so we're getting y by itself, and we are remembering that any time that we multiply or divide by a negative, we must flip the inequality. So without further ado, I want you to try some more problems here. This right here is talking about test points. What points will work in here, what points will not. So looking at this, if they test 0, 0, 0, 0 makes a true statement. So that is how they got their shaded region. So you see how the book does it versus how I do it. Now the book uses test points. So it'll graph the line x minus 2y equals 4. And it would graph that line by using the x and y intercept. So you would let x be 0, then solve for y, and then let y be 0, and then solve for x. So looking at a problem like this, which graph is the graph of 2x plus 5y is greater than 10? Well, if I'm doing this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and solve for y. I'm going to solve for y by subtracting 2x on each side. That's going to leave me with 5y is greater than, and again, I subtracted 2x on each side, so that's going to be negative 2x, and then plus 10. Divide by 5 on each side. I'm dividing everything on the right side by 5. I do not have to flip it because I did not multiply or divide by a negative. So we get y is greater than or equal to negative 2/5. And I don't know why I said equal to. Y is just greater than negative 2/5 of x plus 2. So now that I know that y-intercept and the slope, What's more important than that, though, is the fact that it's shaded above. Why is it shaded above? That y looks even uglier now. It's shaded above because y is greater than. So I'm looking here. Which ones are shaded above? Well, A and C are shaded above. So if A and C are shaded above, now I need to figure out, let's see, they're both the same line there. I have a y-intercept at 2, and then it's down 2, right 5. And look, one has it, one's a dashed line, one's a solid line. You can probably tell we're just greater than here, so we know that this answer is A. All right, I didn't want this video to be that long. At this point in the game, you should be able to do the practice assignment, complete the practice assignment, and study for your test tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful evening.